Hello, this video is going to be about knife defenses, specifically knife defenses from a number 2 angle, right? Now we're going to kind of focus on what is the scenario, and then we'll talk about a couple of options on how we might deal with this scenario. Okay, so first let's talk about or show the attack, right? Bad guy's there. First of all, I'm assuming that I'm kind of in range, like I'm not far away. I didn't see the knife until we're basically able to touch each other, and that means that I don't have very much time to react. I can't really use my feet. I've pretty much just got to do something with my hands right here. The attack itself is that. It's a backhand strike. The elbow leads. It comes from the right side of my body, right here. And it might be aimed at the face, the neck, the chest, the collarbone, somewhere in this quarter right here, okay? As the knife attack comes in, that's my initial reaction. Again, other angle. This is a very, very important first step, right? Because the very first priority is I need to somehow not get caught by the knife. I need to block it or something like that. And what I'm doing here is I'm using both hands and I'm coming in and blocking against the offending limb. I'm not necessarily stepping, but I am leaning with my body and I'm trying to make contact at 2 points. I want to train myself to reach to the wrist with the nearest hand, and then with the far hand, I'm reaching just above the elbow joint here. Boom. Now both arms essentially have the same shape, right? I've got a roughly 90-degree bend at the elbow. My wrists are stiff, my fingers are extended, all right? So it looks like a little bit like chops, okay? Again, here. All right, now from this position, the fight is on, and there's a lot of different ways it can go. Here's a couple of options. If I feel like I've got good momentum, I can catch the wrist, I can drive in, I can get into a control position here, right? And then this isn't the end by any means. I'm gonna have to do more, right? And we'll talk about that in a second. But this version is block, catch, step across and drive. We can call this an armbar. From the block, I'm catching, and I am thinking about shearing through the elbow, straight across right in front of his face. That's the direction I'm going to take it. This left foot is going to follow that direction, all right? And I'm going to step across the front of both of his feet and drive. As that happens, if I did well, he starts to bend forward and I have gravity on my side, so I'm going to drive down with a little bit of a rotation here, and I want to get nice and low. Okay, let's talk about what happens next. I can increase control, because this is control-ish, but it's not really great. I can't rely on it for more than a second. All right, so if I wrap the arm here, get a little bit of pressure here, I've got better control, and then from there I'm just going to use body weight. All right, I'm going to start driving down into the ground. Now in training, we get a tap and we're good to go, but let's imagine that I can take him all the way to the ground, to here. Okay, I may be able to cause damage to the elbow from here, all right, but I've got some kind of control over the knife. I might be able to make strikes from here. There's a lot of possibilities, so just kind of think about what might be possible, but never really letting go of this control. I gotta have this right. If I did that ballistically and fast enough, maybe it does cause actual damage, actual breakage of the bones, actual trauma to the joints. It might be what I need to do. So let's just recap that version real quick. Block, everything starts from here, wrist and elbow. Catch and drive, big step across, fold them down, wrap, right? Maybe I try to break from here, maybe I just WWE style and just fall on the arm with all of my body weight. Option number 2, starts in the same place. What may happen is that rather than pose nicely for a cool video, the bad guy might continue to try to move the knife, and from here, as soon as there's resistance, a likely thing is that he's going to bring his elbow back towards his body, try to free the knife for another attack, right? So if I feel that happening, I'm going to catch the wrist and pin it into the body, right? This requires a little bit of sensitivity, but again, if it were easy, nobody would need to train on this stuff. From here, I don't want to lose contact with the elbow, but I have to simultaneously reaching for the wrist, a little bit of like a praying mantis kung fu style here. At that point, all I need to do is I'm just gonna follow the wrist and drive it into the body. My weight needs to be low and forward against that arm, right? I'm gonna turn him into T-Rex. Right, now I have a free hand, so I'm just gonna, boom, I wanna stun and run at this point, right? Because this is control-ish for a moment, but it's not gonna last. So I distract him with the best punch I've got, give him a little push, and then I make my escape. That's the stun and run version. So we've got two different options. We've got a control version, we've got a kind of a stun and run version. Let's review both of them. They both start from here. Block, catch, step through into the arm bar, or block, catch the wrist and pin, punch, and run. Thank you, Rinchy Allen. So those are two options for knife attack number 2, the backhand strike.